everyone, I know it's been a while since my last video, but today we're doing more of the usual, playing with fire. Actually, we're going to build something to contain all the flames we've made in the past, with a fireplace. The measurements in this video will be in 1/12 scale for 6-inch figures, but I'll put a link in the video description to my website where you can get those measurements, plus the measurements converted for 1/6 scale and 1/18 scale. To begin the fireplace project, I start with a piece of paper, a ruler, and a pencil, and I'm just making some measurements on the paper to make a pattern. And I will be sharing all these measurements with you. Next, I lay my paper pattern on a piece of foam board, and I picked up this foam board from Dollar Tree. And then, using a metal ruler as a guide, I'm going to cut out the side of the fireplace. And then with this particular foam board, since it's so cheap, the paper actually peels off the foam itself pretty easily. So I'm going to peel that off both sides of the foam board until I'm left with a piece like this. And then I'm going to repeat that process with the front of the fireplace. Okay, at this point I have all my pieces cut out. Well, everything except for the top of the fireplace. But at this point, I'm not certain how I want to do that yet. But for now, I decided I'm going to make this fireplace a brick one. So I need to make some lines on this foam. You could also try a cobblestone appearance for it as well. So to make the bricks, I'm going to have to use my ruler, and I'm going to mark off some lines on here. So at the moment, I'm just marking off every 1/2 centimeter on the side of the front of the fireplace. But I'm going to need to repeat this step with all of the other pieces as well. My lines weren't showing up very well with the pencil, so I switched to a fine-tipped marker. Next, I'm going to line up the marks on either side of the front of the fireplace. And using my X-Acto knife, I'm going to cut across here. But I'm not going to cut very deep because the last thing I want to do is slice this part off. So just score it a little bit in. And like so. And I'm going to repeat that process for all these other little marks. Alright, that went pretty well, except for this part right here, which I have a line in there that shouldn't be. But I'm going to try filling that in with some Mod Podge later on, that crack. So hopefully it won't show up. We'll find out though, won't we? Okay, now I need to do the bricks up here at the top. Bricks are usually staggered, so there's like one brick and then the brick below it is halfway over. So we're going to copy that pattern here. And then to make the vertical lines on the top row, I'm going to space these every centimeter apart. But since this fireplace is 9.5 centimeters wide, I'm going to start it off a little bit off center. So I'm going to have a short brick on either side of the longer ones. To make my second row of bricks, I line up my ruler so that the previous lines I made are at 0 and 1 centimeter on the ruler, and then I just make a mark at 1/2 centimeter. And I got to follow this line of bricks all the way down, making a mark every 1/2 centimeter. And those lines tell me exactly where I need to cut. And now you don't even need the ruler. You could just kind of gently separate those bricks from each other. Now I have all the lines cut, and what you need to do next is either use a pencil or a ballpoint pen. You're just going to drag the pen along those cuts you previously made, and this just separates the foam a little bit more. You could already tell from the ones that I've done here at the top to these down here how much of a difference it makes. So making these bricks is pretty tedious, but it's not very hard. Just remember, I made my bricks 1 centimeter wide and 1/2 centimeter tall, but you can make yours whatever you like. And if you do make bigger bricks, this project will go faster for you. Now my individual bricks are all spaced out, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of Mod Podge to the section here where I messed up. I'm hoping this will help disguise the line I made on the bricks. You can also make a stone fireplace by just drawing some rocks of various shapes and sizes, and then cutting out slightly along each rock, just like we did with the bricks, and repeat the process of pushing the pen down to separate the brick from the empty spaces between them. And then you can use a pen or a pencil to push down on that empty space between the rocks to separate them from each other. I'm going to make the top piece of my fireplace, or the mantle, out of a thin piece of balsa wood, but you could also use foam. And I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife to cut through this wood. And then I'm going to sand the edges of this one. And now I'm just mixing up some brown paint and paint extender to paint that balsa wood. And the colors I'm using are Apple Barrel Nutmeg Brown and Anita's Paint Extender. Now we're ready to start assembling the fireplace. I'm going to start with the floor of the fireplace, or the hearth, and then one of the side walls here. I'm going to attach the left wall to the floor with a hot glue gun. Then I'm going to do the same with the right side. Next, I'm going to attach the front, and I'm going to work on one side here at a time. And then I repeat with the opposite side. Next, I'm going to attach the interior walls of the firebox. And these walls, I could have made them longer, but I just made them shorter because they're not going to show that much anyway. But if you wanted to, you could make them as tall as the fireplace itself. And then I repeat that by doing the opposite side as well. And then finally, I put down the back wall of the firebox. While I'm painting, let's take a look at some photos submitted by a few of my viewers who tried a few of my previous projects. I have received a lot of photos lately, and I just don't have the room to share them all in this video, so if you don't see yours, they should be on the next project. Seeing and being able to share your photos is one of my favorite parts of making these crafting videos. First up, we have Dark Skin Bane from Instagram, who made the muzzle flash effect. Next is Abadias Asukar 1, who made a couple of my projects, including a cape and a bow. Artboy252 made the Symbiote Tendrils project and used them on his Carnage figure. Bob made a custom cape and even the hood project for his Taskmaster figure. Fluffy Wookie Animations, who has a channel here on YouTube as well, made the muzzle flash effect. Matthew had the great idea of adding the hood project to his own custom design of a hoodie for Spidey. Born to Eat Bacon, and I love that name, made the glasses to complete the look for his action figure. Will Gunderson, 11DW, made a repulsor beam for his Iron Man. Starpool295 was able to modify the cape project to work on his Darth Vader figure. If you want to try any of these projects yourself, there are tutorials here on my channel to help you. It's probably easiest to find them if you just use the search feature within my channel, but I've also added all the crafting videos to a playlist too. There's like one giant playlist with every project, but then there's some smaller playlists too where I try to organize them by categories, so hopefully that helps. Once the paint is dry, we're going to apply some hot glue to the top of the fireplace, and we're going to attach the mantelpiece to the top. So that's the completed basic fireplace. In the future, we may make some logs and maybe a metal grate thingy to put them on, so let me know in the comments below if that's something you're interested in. And, it's been so long since I've done one of these videos, I've kind of forgotten what I usually say at the end. Something, subscribe, there's more videos on the channel too. Yeah, let's just go with that. This is going really well. Thanks everybody, catch you later.